Hi guys, welcome to Reen's Place. It is the Saturday before Thanksgiving and we have a lot of stuff going on today. Today I am making some cranberry orange sauce. I never made this before, but recipe looks good. I altered it slightly, but it's still a safe canning recipe. I'm just adding acid to it, which is orange juice instead of water. What I've got going on in my pot right now is I have 3 cups of hot water, 3 cups of orange juice, 6 cups of sugar. I have the zest of 2 oranges and the juice of those 2 oranges. I'm going to bring it to a simmer, continually stirring until the sugar all melts nice, and then I'm going to bring it to a boil for 5 minutes, at which time I'm going to add 12 cups of cranberries, which I have washed and ready to go. When we get to that stage, I will bring you back and I'll show you where we're at. Okay, we're back. It's about 5 minutes. I got a nice boil going. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add the berries in and I'm going to stir them, bring them back up to a boil, and when they start popping, I'm going to hit them with a hand masher. So let's get these in here. And that's 12 cups. I will put the recipe for this in the description box below. And again, I'm just going to give them a stir. We'll wait for the water to the syrup, I should say, to come back to a boil. Alright, I'll come back when they start popping and we will mash them. Okay, so it's about 5 minutes later and they all are popping nicely, as you can see. So now I'm just going to hit them gently with the masher because I want some whole berries in there, but I don't want them all, you know, I want it kind of like a jam. But, so just do this as much or as little as you like. And there's a lot of berries in here, so you're going to kind of get them off your masher and go back at it. And I like the idea that I used a bigger pot than I needed, just so nothing's splashing. When they were popping, they weren't popping out of the pot, you know, the juice. It's such a pretty color. I don't know if you can tell how dark, without me steaming at the lens, how dark the syrup has gotten. But I'm not going to give it too much more mashing. Now, for Thanksgiving, my son is the only one that eats this, and he likes the jellied kind from a can. But I thought that this would be good, like on biscuits, or maybe even like leftover on a turkey sandwich, kind of like a condiment. And so that's how I'm going to use it. Okay, so now, again, never made this before. According to my recipe, it says mash with the masher, cook, stirring occasionally until it thickens. It's going to take about 10 minutes. So I'm going to let this thicken up. Oops, let me see. Okay. I'm going to let this thicken up, and I'll come back to you in about 10 minutes and show you where we're at. Okay, guys, it's been about 10 minutes. The sauce is thickened up. It's a beautiful color. Look it. It still has got, sorry about that. Too close. Hang on, let me get the towel. Okay. It still has got some of the berries mashed into it. You could, you know, recognize them. This is really not working, is it? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it off of the stove for 5 minutes. I'm going to skim what very little foam I have, and then I'm going to bring you back when I'm ready to fill my half-pint jars, and this is going to get hot water bathed. So give me a few minutes to get my stuff together, and let this sit for 5 minutes, and I'll be... Okay, so the cranberry sauce has been sitting. It's nice and thick and hot. I have a pot here that I just put the water on to simmer. I dropped the lids and I'm blanking.
Rings.
The rings, thank you. I dropped them in there. You don't have to do that. You used to have to simmer them. I just like to put them in hot simmering water. I feel like you get a better seal. Maybe it's just my imagination. I don't know. I have a little bowl here that has straight vinegar in it and some paper towels to wipe my rims. I have a ladle, my ring lifter, And this is going to be, I'm going to use the bottom of this to get the bubbles out. I have a funnel and I have some, half pint jars. And that's all I need for this. So let me work that. Okay. So these are 2 hot, clean jars. And I have my pressure canner going with boiling water. I'm going to use it as a hot water bath just because it's deeper and it makes less of a mess. So what you want to do is you want to fill your jar. Again, that's a half pint jar I'm using. And you're going to give it like about a 1/4 of an inch headspace. This looks pretty good right there. I'm going to do 2 of these at once, and then I'm going to get them into the canner, and then I'll bring you back when I have them all in. So what I did was I put a couple of quarts of water in the canner, what I think will be enough to cover these jars and a second row. And then I took another metal plate to use as my as a separation between the two. The two different rows that are going to be in the canner. That was a little high to me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I take this, it's got the vinegar on it, and I'm just going to wipe the edges and make sure they're not sticky, that there's nothing on it, so that we can get a good seal on these. Oops, you know what I forgot to do? Before you wipe the seal, you want to do this. Get any air bubbles out. I think they're fine, but better safe than sorry. Okay. And like I said, I normally just wipe the edge. Okay. And now I'm going to put the lids on these. They're nice and hot, as are the jar that's burning my hands off. Boy, I'm having some difficulties today. Lots to do, lots to do. Okay, just fingertip tight. If you go too hard, they will buckle while you're canning them, and then what a waste. Okay, fingertip tight. I'm just going to take my jar lifter. I'm going to get these into the hot water bath, and I'll bring you back when I have them all in. Okay guys, this is again my pressure canner that I'm using as a water bath canner. And what I did was I just put enough water in to do 2 rows, and I used the other bottom plate to put in between. So I have a plate on the bottom, then I have 7 jars, and then I have another plate and another 7 jars. So we got 14 half pints out of the recipe, and I mean exactly 14. And that's within a 1/4 inch of a headspace. So I have them in here. And what I do is I just use a clean cookie sheet. I put it across the top. I'm going to wait for it to boil, and when it does hit boiling, I'm going to set my kitchen timer for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to, I'll bring you back after 10 minutes and I'll show you what we do next. Okay guys, it's been 10 minutes, and they are ready to come off. I'm going to put the hot cookie sheet in the sink. And what I like to do is just take the pot off the hot burner for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to remove them from the pot. My husband's going to move it over because he's much stronger than I am. Thanks, Chuck. Okay, so we're just taking it off of the burner because it's an electric stove. And I'm going to let them cool 10 more minutes. I'll set my timer again, and then we'll come out and then we'll remove them to a cookie sheet to let them cool. So we'll be back in a few minutes. And I'll show you all the other madness that's happening in my kitchen when we come back. Okay guys, we're back. And I moved the pot over to the counter. And what I'm going to do is, I just use a cookie sheet. I have a silicone pad on it. You could use a cutting board with a towel, or a cookie sheet with a towel, whatever you want. And now I'm just going to remove them. Pretty. I'm going to remove them to the cookie sheet so that they can cool. And we got 14 of these half pint jars. I got these jars at Walmart, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. They had like this big clearance sale on them, and they were like $1 for a 4-pack of these fancy jars. And since I always am looking for half pints, that's what I do the majority of my jams, apple butter, peach butter. I would do those all in half pints. Some of the salsa I do in half pints as well, some in pints. Okay, so that's 7, and then I have the other, the plate between them, so I just lift it out with this big fork so I don't burn myself. Whoops! Or, maybe I will burn myself, let's see. See, it went upside down, now I'll never get it out, let's see. Ouch, out. Throw that in the sink. And to retrieve the rest of my jars now. Let's see. So that wasn't so bad. I've never made the cranberry sauce before. I'm not a real big fan of what you buy at the store. But I do like orange. So when I found the recipe for the orange cranberry, I thought it would be nice kind of to use it like more like a preserve. And when I tasted it, it's a little sweet. It's a little tart, so that, to me, is a good mix. It's not overly sweet, so if you like things that are overly sweet, probably, you know, probably don't want to use it as a, like a jam. But I have 2 more in there, and I think I'm just going to put these paper towels here and get them out. Okay, and that is it. You can hear them, they're starting to pop already. That is our 14 half-pint jars of cranberry-orange sauce. I'm going to leave them here overnight for 24 hours, at which time I will remove the rings. I will wash the jars with hot soapy water, dry them, label them, and put them away. If you are going to give them as a gift, you might want to put a ring on after they've been washed. You can replace the ring. But you do want to take them off and make sure that everything's washed nice so there's nothing stuck underneath there that might have siphoned out while you were canning. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you give this cranberry orange sauce a try. If you do like these kinds of videos, give this a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please hit that red subscribe button. Oh, and I promised I'd show you what else is going on in my kitchen. So let me just show you real quick. I'll take you for a spin. I'm not going to turn it off. So we've been doing, when I say we, I mean my husband. He has been doing the apples for me. So I have 3 crock pots, 2 here, and don't mind the mess in the sink. Look at all the dishes, like you can see. Okay, and then this is the 3rd crock pot that we have all apples, which will be apple butter. And he did these all with the spiralizer on my KitchenAid mixer. So that's that. And then I have these apples all washed. Those will be apple sauce tomorrow, and it's a mix. The orchard by our house, it's called Heckman's, and they sell all kinds of apples. We got Braeburns to do our apple butter and to make apple pies. I have another bag of apples on the floor there. Those are for my apple pies. Okay, so we got Braeburns in the pots. Those are for apple butter. And then I have a sauce mix, and they sell this as a sauce mix. So that'll be that. And then he did these for me. These are Fuji's. Check, did I say Fuji's? Okay. These are Fuji's, and he sliced them on a spiralizer. But these ones we have soaking in lemon water. And I'm going to get my 2 dehydrators out and stick them here. And I'm going to fill those with dehydrated apple slices. So it's been a very busy day, and I expect tomorrow to be more of the same. All week this week doing holiday preparations. I think I'm going to be doing some potatoes, sweet potatoes. I'm going to definitely do this week a sweet potato casserole recipe, and I'm going also to do a homemade green bean casserole recipe, which is not like the ones where you use Campbell's Campbell's soup and canned green beans. So look out for that, and if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below, and I will also leave the recipe for this cranberry orange sauce in the description box.